Flashback to 2017. Big corporations rule the water industry. Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, and Nestle. Every bottle looks identical. Crystal clear plastic with peaceful mountain imagery and names suggesting purity. Without warning, a black aluminum tallboy appears among them, emblazoned with a dripping skull and the words, "Liquid Death." By 2024, what began as a joke would explode into a $1.4 billion brand, pushing $333 million in yearly sales, launched with nothing more than $1,500 and a YouTube video. Welcome to the Philosophy of Marketing. Get ready for a marketing masterclass that'll force you to question everything about building breakthrough brands. To grasp the full magnitude of this industry upheaval, we need to trace its unlikely beginnings. It's 2009, America is drowning in an economic crisis, Obama just took office, and amid the chaos of Van's Warped Tour, Netflix creative director Mike Cesario witnesses something revealing. Backstage, punk and metal musicians, many straight edge and sober, are pouring water into Monster Energy cans before performances, trying to maintain their hardcore image while staying hydrated. The observation planted a seed. First, healthy choices shouldn't mean sacrificing your identity. Second, the water market has zero personality. And finally, let's create water for metalheads. Let's call it something ridiculous, like Liquid Death. What unfolded next demolished every established principle of beverage marketing. While industry veterans played it safe, Cesario embraced choices so outrageous they sounded like career suicide. Consider these moves: naming a health product after death, complete contradiction; packaging water in beer cans, total category violation; and most shocking, launching without inventory using just a $1,500 mock commercial to test market response. Think about it, a water company named after death, featuring skulls, with a slogan about murder. The beverage establishment must have thought Cesario had lost his mind. And here comes marketing lesson number 1. Embrace maximum contrast to achieve maximum visibility. Cesario's background in creative disruption gave him clarity. Unable to match corporate marketing budgets or distribution networks, he weaponized the unexpected. He didn't sell hydration, he sold rebellion packaged in recyclable aluminum. Examine these deliberate design choices. The tallboy format screams beer alternative, the metal-inspired logo signals counterculture authenticity, the tagline, "Murder your thirst," transforms basic hydration into an aggressive act. In the sea of blue and white tranquility, Liquid Death erupted like a bomb. It works really well because you start thinking like, oh, what's the dumbest possible name for a super healthy, safest beverage possible? Liquid Death. Mike Cesario, 2022. This man transformed the stupidest possible concept into marketing brilliance. He intuitively understood the power of pattern interruption in consumer psychology. A shocking can wasn't enough. Cesario needed to inject Liquid Death into counterculture veins where traditional water brands couldn't penetrate. Bypassing conventional retail channels entirely, Liquid Death executed a guerrilla placement strategy targeting the fringes of consumer culture, places corporate marketers wouldn't dare venture. The brilliance was in their selective targeting. Their initial distribution focused exclusively on tattoo studios and piercing parlors, dive bars and indie music venues, skate parks and board shops, alternative comedy spaces, and underground fitness gyms. These establishments attracted precisely the consumers who'd embrace the ironic rebellion of drinking death water, people who'd become walking billboards for the brand just to signal their counterculture credentials. Marketing lesson number 2, bypass gatekeepers by creating tribal demand. An anonymous marketing executive revealed Cesario never begged for shelf space from Walmart. He built a cult following in spaces where Dasani and Aquafina would be laughed out of the room. This wasn't merely distribution, it was cultural colonization disguised as a beverage launch. Hiding beneath the shock value exterior was Cesario's true innovation, recognizing that environmental consciousness could be transformed from boring obligation into rebellious action. Marketing lesson number 3, deliver serious substance through unserious packaging. As competitors squabbled over pH levels and obscure mineral compositions, Liquid Death quietly constructed something far more actual environmental purpose cloaked in death metal aesthetics. Their environmental stance wasn't buried in fine print. Aluminum cans are infinitely recyclable versus single-use plastic. Yet instead of sanctimonious messaging, they rallied consumers around death to plastic and donated 10% of profits to clean water organizations. Notice the stark contrast in approach. When Fiji drones on about bottled at the source with somber piano music, Liquid Death screams about executing plastic pollution with thrash metal backing tracks, and guess which message actually gets shared? And here's some of the online metrics. Instagram engagement, 15 times the industry average for water brands, unpaid media exposure, approximately $60 million in value, brand commitment, over 200 consumers with permanent Liquid Death tattoos, and markup potential 4 times the standard price of a bottle of water. Flash forward to October 2022, Liquid Death secures a $700 million valuation for what is fundamentally just water in aluminum packaging. This transcends marketing, it's psychological warfare against industry norms. Very few people can tell the difference between premium waters and blind tests. The brilliance is making people feel cool for making an environmental choice. The speed is what stuns industry veterans. Traditional beverage brands require 10 to 15 years to achieve a significant market share. Liquid Death conquered its territory in just 36 months. By 2020, Cesario deployed his most subversive tactic yet. Rather than hiding or fighting against internet critics, he transformed their vitriol into the brand's raw materials, compiling hate comments into an actual death metal album titled Greatest Hates. This judo move transformed detractors into involuntary content creators. Every nasty comment became potential lyrics, every outraged critic an unwitting collaborator in building brand mythology. And here's Liquid Death's trajectory. Initial content investment, just $1,500 for the mock-up commercial. Venture capital secured, $195 million in 2022. Revenue explosion, $130 million in 2022, $263 million in 2023, and $333 million in 2024. Their first viral hit, over 3 million views before manufacturing a single can. And finally, mainstream penetration. They have a Super Bowl ad featuring children drinking this forbidden water. This strategy obliterates conventional beverage marketing wisdom. Rather than patiently building historical legitimacy over generations, Liquid Death manufactured cultural significance overnight by converting negative energy into rocket fuel. Consider the unprecedented velocity. From trademark filing in 2017 to a $1.4 billion valuation by March 2024. Most beverage startups can't survive 7 months, let alone achieve unicorn status in 7 years. And here comes marketing lesson number 4. Convert opposition into acceleration. Senior Vice President of Marketing at Liquid Death, Dan Murphy, explains this psychological mechanism. A lot of brands cower and accept that hecklers veto. On the flip side, we take those comments and create albums. Now we reach the most fascinating aspect of Liquid Death's conquest, the complete inversion of traditional celebrity marketing. By 2021, an extraordinary phenomenon emerged. Liquid Death penetrated alternative celebrity circles with minimal paid endorsements, a virtual impossibility in the beverage space. The brand achieved something money typically can't buy, authentic integration into celebrity identities, not as paid promotions, but as genuine lifestyle choices. The investment community took notice. By late 2022, Liquid Death secured backing from entertainment powerhouse Live Nation, skateboarding legend Tony Hawk, comedian Whitney Cummings, and tech pioneer Biz Stone, the Twitter co-founder. What began as water had transformed into a cultural signifier, a badge of rebellious environmentalism. And here's the milestone markers from Liquid Death. 2019, early adopters in the punk/metal scene begin organic promotion. 2020, viral collaborations emerge without traditional sponsorship deals. 2021, Live Nation partnership brings venue distribution to concerts and festivals. 2022, the brand reaches cultural escape velocity across multiple subcultures. And finally, 2023, retail sales hit $263 million amid expansion to 133,000 locations. The financial efficiency defies industry logic. Traditional beverage brands allocate 20 to 30% of revenue to advertising and celebrity endorsements. Liquid Death generated exponential growth through cultural gravity, content so magnetic that promotional budgets became nearly irrelevant. And here's our 5th and final marketing lesson. Create culture carriers, not customers. Liquid Death didn't just sell water, they sold identity. By designing cans that look like beer tall boys, by aligning with punk and metal subcultures, and by turning sustainability into an anti-establishment movement, they invited people to join something, not just buy something. Their customers proudly display their product like merch. They post about it, they wear the brand on their shirts, share their wild ads, and embody its irreverent spirit. That's not a transactional relationship, it's tribal. This is what it means to create culture carriers. People who internalize your brand as part of who they are and then carry it forward into the world for others to see. Now let's extract the actionable blueprint from Cesario's industry insurrection. These 5 strategic reversals can revolutionize how you approach challenging entrenched competitors. Number 1, contradict category psychology. Instead of competing on taste or source, Liquid Death deliberately violated every visual and naming convention in water marketing, creating instant recognition. How can you deliberately break expectations in your industry to create instant recognition and stand out? Number 2, weaponize your mission. By transforming environmental consciousness into rebellious action rather than virtuous obligation, they made sustainability feel cool instead of boring. Can you reframe your mission to feel bold, energizing, or even subversive instead of preachy or expected? Number 3, infiltrate cultural ecosystems. Instead of begging for mainstream retail placement, they colonize alternative spaces where their aesthetic belong naturally, creating an authentic cultural presence. Where does your brand naturally belong that your competitors aren't looking? What subcultures or communities could you authentically serve? Number 4, metabolize resistance. By transforming criticism into content fuel, they built a self-perpetuating publicity engine that converted negative energy into viral momentum. How can you turn the criticism or pushback you receive into strategic advantage or creative content? And finally, number 5, create identity vessels. Their product isn't consumed, it's displayed, allowing customers to telegraph their values and personality through visible consumption choice. How can your product or brand become a symbol that people want to be seen with? And here's the current stats from Liquid Death. Their March 2024 valuation, $1.4 billion. Their 2024 projected revenue, over $333 million. Retail penetration, 133,000 locations worldwide. Product expansion, over 14 varieties across water, sparkling water, and tea. And their market influence, multiple copycat brands are already emerging with edgy aesthetics. The Liquid Death phenomenon transcends clever naming or shock marketing. Cesario recognized that commodity products don't require better ingredients, they require better mythology. They proved that brand insurgents succeed not by competing within category norms, but by deliberately violating them. It's like we're an entertainment company that happens to sell water. If you approach it like that, you did a whole thing differently. The head of creativity for Liquid Death. Now, when you encounter that black can with its skull imagery, you're witnessing more than a beverage. You're seeing the physical manifestation of a marketing revolution that redefined how challenger brands compete against corporate giants. Now, if you found value in this breakdown of Liquid Death's marketing genius, hit that like button and subscribe to the Philosophy of Marketing. In the comments, let me know what brand would you like me to analyze next. And remember, the greatest marketing doesn't sell products, it creates movements.